frustration, trying to do damage, but he hasn't been able to really finish anybody off. He's a Junkrat alone right now, and it doesn't look like he's going to have his tire in time to make a difference. Now he's gone, and there goes Void as well. So point A looking pretty Paris favored right now.
I love that defense still up, but I don't love the way the Gladiators play it. Void went way too deep trying to deal with the Widowmaker. You can ignore that Widowmaker. All you have to do is take high ground with your Junkrat and your own Widow. Remember, Surefour can just sit behind that Orisa shield. Nico never has that opportunity. So there's really no point to going deep and playing against the Widow. Paris tried to mix it up by throwing that Widow into what would normally be a 3-3 composition, and Gladiator sort of took the bait there.
Yeah, very true. They've got the Coalescence for him. A lot more ultimates coming out for Paris right now. It's going to be the tire going into the tiny side room. Can it get anybody? Finds Kruise with it, so that's one. And Gladiators will be able to maybe push Paris back a bit. They're going to dedicate the Coalescence to this Moira ultimate coming in. They're not done yet. They've got the Graviton Surge. They decide that they can just go in without their Lucio right now. They drop the grab. No concern there. Roar a little bit low. Self-destruct does catch Roar. He couldn't get his shield turned around in time. Shaz goes ahead and uses that Transcendence, but it's too late to really benefit the Gladiators at all. And man, Paris just steamrolling this map so far. Gotta watch out for the self-destruct. They do it. Benbest gets the shield in time, and Shaz finds himself in the middle of the Paris team, trying to blend in, but it's tough, man. They got different skins going on, you know? The team colors kind of give it away a bit. Paris Eternal absolutely wrecking Gladiators right now. The Hammond is out. It's not looking good for the LA side, though.
It certainly isn't, Doa, and this is the price you pay when you mess up your A defense and have to switch into 3-3.
Yep.
You don't have those ults. And Paris, talk about knowing your limits. Doesn't matter if they lose a player. They still have a massive ult advantage. They are not afraid to take that fight and then win it through at a player down.
Brilliant stuff from Paris Eternal. We'll see what Gladiators can do when we get back. You know, you and I were chatting a little bit during that 30-second break, Monty, and we're like, you know, even though Paris was a man down after losing Kruise, they know that, you know, if this match has shown them anything, they can just walk up on Roar and kill him pretty much at will, it seems like.
The thing is, you don't need a Lucio to fight that. Like, what is Lucio going to do in that circumstance?
He's going to cheer you up like the happy bard he is.
Well, think about it. He already used the speed boost to get them right until into the choke point, right? So there is no real use for the speed boost if you're already fighting on the point itself.
True.
You're losing a very small amount of healing and damage. You know, maybe you can get that big boot, but when they already have all of their ults available, Lucio did his job. So that was actually the best hero the Gladiators could have lost first, is their own Lucio, or Paris could have lost first with their own Lucio.
You don't have that soundtrack, though, and to me, that makes the biggest difference. Is the DJ in the mix? If he's not, I guess he can win anyway, but it feels just a little bit worse in your heart.
I mean, the DJ was definitely not in the mix of that fight. It turned out A-okay if you're Paris.
Gladiators on the attack now, going in with the Reinhardt 3-3 themselves. Paris Eternal responding in kind on their defense. Gladiators rotating around the left side, as we often see. Kruise looking for that boop, didn't find the one on Roar he was looking for. Finzi going in anyway, trying to separate Roar. They do it. That is what you're looking for, but Benbest finds himself a little bit out of position as well. Both Reinhardts down. Now the fight gets a bit interesting, and Gladiators decide that's a fight they just don't want to take.
No, you can't move through that choke point right now against the charged up Zarya. The Matrix isn't going to stop the laser, so basically your diva is just going to get demeched in that scenario. You need Roar to be there.
Sure enough, Benbest scrambling to get back to this defense. Here he is just in time as they try to go onto the bridge here. Now rotating around onto the high ground. Paris ready in that room, firing as they go through the door. Now they're going to wait. They don't want Gladiators to drop on top of them, so they're just giving Gladiators a chance to get on there first. They can always respond.
Yeah, watch out for Soon here, who does have nearly a Graviton Surge. Kruise plays it. A little bit risky.
That was good for Gladiators, though. They were ready for that Lucio. They had that shield bash locked and loaded. Now the grab comes in. A nice charge from Ben Best onto Roar here. Hydration, trying to keep people alive more on the Gladiator side. There goes Soon. And Paris throwing all their ultimates out right now. Nico with the rally, trying to keep his team in the fight here. Gladiators, though, have the man advantage for the moment. Surefour waiting for that grab. Paris going to go ahead and rotate around on the high ground. Roar. He's okay.
Starting to take this point, though, and now Surefour's the one with the graviton advantage. Paris being very cautious, knowing that they could get stuck with that. They need Soon to make it back, and he almost has.
Finzi a little bit low. Sound barrier comes in just in time to keep that D.Va in the mech. Surefour's grab gets eaten again, though. Finzi with another big play on that D.Va. Roar comes in with the Earth Shatter. Doesn't hit anybody, though. Void manages to find Kruise, so maybe with Hip and that Transcendence they can respond. Benbest gets hydration. It's going to be Gladiators, though. D-meching Finzi, D-lifing Benbest. There goes Soon, and finally, LA Gladiators will have the fight they need to finish off point A.
That was a little bit worrisome, but there was one charge, mega charge Zarya at the start of that fight in Surefour, and one who was walking back from spawn in Soon.
Yeah.
But Paris does manage to force a lot of those ults out of the Gladiator. Surefour nearly had another grab, though, thanks to how much damage that he was dealing in that last fight.
I mean, at the very least, Gladiators are guaranteed to have less time in the time bank now, even if they take both points here. Already below Paris, just now.
Benbest threw out the shatter there.
Oh, Benbest! He got stunned, got eliminated by the Gladiators immediately, and they're going to storm their way onto point B. They might have less time in the time bank, but it might not be by much.
And those little positional errors, Benbest was slowing them down with the shatter, but they didn't demech Void, who is the one stunned.
Benbest tries to go to the Hammond, just ends up like a disco ball dropped from the ceiling of the saddest dance arena
in Paris.
In Paris. That's right, there you go.
The disappointing discotheque, we call it.
A disco disappointment. Disco Doom. Here he comes again. Benbest trying to live longer this time on the Hammond as Gladiators try to finish off point B. Gonna get those kills, though, and this is gonna be the Gladiators. Clean it up as soon as they can remove Kruise from the equation. There he goes. And wow, that's a lot of time being bought by Paris, but Gladiators do take both points. Point B was so fast.
It was very fast. Thanks to Surefour getting that grab again so quickly, and Benbest trying to stall for a little bit, ends up getting punished and putting Paris in a 5v6 scenario.
That's right. Going into extra rounds here on Anubis when we get back. Two to two on Temple of Anubis. It was a long haul on point A for Gladiators, but they got the job done. That said, still a little bit less time in the time bank for them. They're going to start this off with 416. Paris Eternal a little bit higher on 507. Gladiators on the attack first because of that.
I think Gladiators actually a little bit lucky to get as much time as they have in the time bank right now.
Totally agree, yeah. With as rough as point A was, that was they really made up on B. They needed to.
They're going to go for the same attack one more time. They tried to go left, but Paris played the choke better. I assume they're going to try and take right and go with the high ground approach again this time.
It's looking that way. That's the way that led them to victory eventually last time. Discord onto Big Goose. You really want to remove that Lucio. Paris Eternal getting really aggressive here right now. Oh, and there goes Big Goose. Man, yes, he gets him. Man, it's like Duck Hunt, only it's geese.
Damn, they coming in too with some of these fire strikes, and they're playing very well against the defensive matrix from the Gladiators, waiting till Void doesn't have it available anymore. Means Benbest already has doubled the ult charge on the Reinhardt compared to Roar.
Yep. Benbest getting a little bit low, gets healed up though. Kruise looking for the boop, trying to get people off that bridge. He does just that. That's going to force Paris into a position where maybe they can get aggressive onto the Gladiators. Retreat up the stairs. Roar a little bit separated, gets back to his Brigitte just in time. Close call, but they keep the Reinhardt alive. Gladiators now regrouping.
I mean, you'll notice the way the Paris is moving. They're just forcing the Gladiators into all these choke points. Now they have to come down this staircase. That's going to be really unpleasant for the Gladiators. Sherfor somehow stays alive, but Hydration does not.
Hydration, they go into the wood chipper, and Paris Eternal just wrecks Gladiators as they come down the stairs. Not even a tick taken by LA.
I mean, Paris is just so good at controlling space.
Oh, Void.
With this composition, Void going to be very sad, as that is a late stagger kill.
That's rough, man. I mean, that's another respawn timer that Gladiator's going to have to wait for. It's another, like, 8 seconds off the clock. It's tough.
And here we are, trying to wait for their diva to come back once again. Paris feeling great because all they had to use was that rally. Should be about 5 volts for Paris, 6 coming in for Gladiators soon, but it's going to be even enough.
Here we go again. Earthshatter comes in. Do you even need the grab? I don't think so, man. Hydration down already. Roar tries to make up for it with a charge, but Paris is ready, and they are once again looking like they are in firm control of point A.
And Paris is doing a great job of mixing up their looks on defense. They're saying, okay, now we're going to play you for the corner because we know you're going right. We know you're trying to take that high ground.
Yeah.
Guess what? We'll just shatter straight around the corner. Just a trickle of ultimates, one by one from Paris, but they only need 1 per fight to shave even more time off the clock.
I mean, Paris with a major ultimate advantage right now, too. Gladiators, minute 44 on the clock. They got to make something happen big. Nice Zarya shield on Benbest as he goes down. Roar, shield getting low. Might be eliminated already. Either way, doesn't have a whole lot of HP left. All right, there's a grab, comes in. It's going to be the Transcendence. Can Void get anybody with that self-destruct? The boop comes in, but the sound barrier there just in time. Benbest responding with a kill onto Big Goose. Damage from Paris and the self-destruct in that fight as well. Kruise keeping Sherfor in the fight too, pooping people back into his team and allowing Paris to get that clean finish to that fight.
Gladiators still opting into this matchup, Doa. They've already spent 3 minutes trying to take point A. They've never really had a convincing ultimate advantage because of how well Paris is playing.
1 minute left for the Gladiators to get any sort of progress on point A. They do not even have a tick yet. They're going to try to go left. This is what they originally didn't want to do. Paris ready to just rotate around for this one.
Oh, man, they're playing in this choke again. Don't know what to say about this one. We'll see if they can break through.
Here we go. Rally's coming in on both sides here. Nico low. He gets taken out. That's a 6v5 for the Gladiators. Soon having to back way off low health as well. They lose Nico, and it looks like once again the Gladiators finally getting this one. They're going to be in the grab, but no kills out of that one. I think that's one that Soon is going to want it back.
Oh, boy. I don't know about that grab, Noah. That's something you'd love to have when Sherfor is going to have it on the next point B attack here.
I mean, that might have actually given Gladiators point B. They are going to get a little bit more time, and without a grab to worry about on the defensive side, the Gladiators can be so aggressive here.
Oh, yes, they can. They charge right on through the choke point. That time, Nico getting caught out, which led to the Paris Eternal getting rolled up as they backed off to the point. And look at the Gladiators coming in now, filled with ultimates.
You got to go for it. You just can't lose Roar. That's the key. You go in, and you remember to keep your Reinhardt from dying. The keys to victory for Gladiators to take point B here.
Trying to set up this shatter.
Oh, Big Goose! Big Goose looking for the big plays, but he gets cooked, and now it's a 5v6 again. Paris, a little bit less to defend. Benbest drops the Earthshatter. No kills out of that one. Here comes the self-destructs. Transcendence used on both sides. Now Void tosses his Div ultimate out. They do catch Kruise with it. Lucio out of commission again. Gladiators, it's a brawl. Everybody going different directions. Players dropping left and right, but it is the Gladiators looking for more of those kills. That was a great charge from Benbest, though. Void does get demected. Now he comes in with the Earthshatter. Gladiators falling apart at the very end, and they took point A, but they are getting nothing on B.
They are not getting a darn thing, Doa. And now the Gladiators have to decide whether or not they're going back to the Orisa, Junkrat, and Widow defense on A to see if they can full hold. Still a chance for them to win here.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely the play right now because you need to hold strong on A. Might as well go ahead and play for this win.
Wow. We were worried about Paris Eternal going into that point B defense. They lost the Graviton Surge, Soon kind of throwing it away at the end of A, but then Gladiators throwing something a bit more valuable away in terms of their main support, Big Goose.
Yeah, that was rough. Kruise managed to find that elimination while they were trying to rotate around the side of the point. Well played by Kruise.
Yeah.
And let's see what they're going to do. They are, in fact, looks like they're not going to go for that defense. So let me tell you why I like it. So this looks like they're probably going to play for a draw here, more than anything else, because eventually you have to believe that Paris is going to figure out a way, considering they've had the superior ult economy management so far, to break through A.
How does that work? How does Hammond bounce like that? I don't understand. What is he made out of? It looks like metal, but I'm not sure. Void contemplating life.
He's like, this is where I got demeched on point A defense.
I remember this spot. I came back here to conquer my fears. Way to go, Void. That's what you got to do. Soon looking for the shots, going high. Why not fire into the defensive matrix? He's going to swap out, it looks like. A lot of changes for Paris coming in. Ooh, Nico over to the Pharah. I like it.
Yep.
Bold. And there is Benbest on the Hammond. Finzi over on the Sombra. They are really changing things up for this attack here.
So what Paris is confident in is that this is going to work in the next minute or two, and then they're going to get, 3 minutes left to play the 3-3 on the second point.
Yeah. That's the plan anyway. A little bit of time to build up those ultimates. Benbest goes in on the Hammond. And soon we know how good this guy is on the Tracer. Didn't get to see him play it a whole lot yet this season, but he's got a history with this hero.
Certainly does, and means that try and play the point right
Nico.
now. Oh,
Finzi down.
Shaz.
Big pick by Finzi. They get rid of the Zenyatta, and that's going to be, again, the go button for Paris. Now Nico able to free fire a lot easier without having to worry about that Orb of Discard. Big bounce from Hammond up on the high ground. Nico coming in with the barrage. Got to watch out for that Zarya. Wait for the defensive matrix to be down. There it is. Oh, Void still has it anyway. Gets a kill, doesn't matter. Nico taken out eventually, but getting rid of the Reinhardt is key. Surefour down as well without that Zarya. Paris Eternal with a big opportunity to finish off A, maybe even a bit quicker than they expected. Nico gets res too, but Kruise pays for it with his life. Soon trying to protect his teammate. Void demeched. Here comes the pulse bomb now. He doesn't even need to save that one, man. Gets hydration with it. Nice pick, and that's going to be Paris taking A.
And there you go, Noah. 3 minutes, nearly 4 for the Paris Eternal. They'll keep Finzi on the Sombra. They'll switch everybody else out, most likely.
Yep.
See if they can win with an EMP or at least force some ults out from the Gladiators. And then they should be very confident of taking that next tick. I love what Paris did, the adjustment that they made.
That's the thing. You only need that one tick. And like you said with Gladiators, they played that 3-3 starting out on the defense so that they would have some ultimates for this.
And by the way, that's why we often see Winston 3-3 defense on point A, because otherwise, if you don't have that mobility, some of these heavy DPS compositions can run circles around you.
Speaking of running circles around the opponents, Finzi waiting in the wings with that EMP. Benbest down early. They're going to save everything here. Yeah, well, Hip used the Transcendence, actually. All right. Well, they probably would have preferred to save that Zenyatta ultimate, but it's one that builds fairly quickly. They still do have 3 minutes left. Yeah. Good start for Gladiators, though.
Not the biggest deal in the world either. They still, like you say, have the EMP to use in this next engagement. That will guarantee for some ults from the Gladiators. You'll notice Shaz has switched over to the Ana due to the fact that Finzi's not playing Diva on this one, so they can get a lot of value out of the Biotic Grenade, just chucking it down on the point. Getting a lot of extra healing or anti-healing in there as needed. EMP is creeping around right now, trying to find
Sneaky Finzi. Roar uses that shatter. Paris not phased by it. They go into the EMP. Hydration down immediately, but crucially, the sound barrier does come out for Gladiators. They have a chance here. They throw out the grab. Can they get anyone with Void self-destruct? Not quite. Benbest, though, down to Roar anyway. So Gladiators still getting the kills they need. Oh, and Void eats Soon's grab. Everything working out great for the Gladiators right now.
Why did Soon grab at the end of that fight is the big question.
I don't know, man. It seemed like that one was over for Paris, but he went for it anyway. The draw looking more and more like a real possibility here on Anubis.
Yeah, Shaz threw out the nano boost at the end, too. I think he just wanted to use it because he's anticipating Finzi's going to switch back to the Diva, and that's immediately what's going to happen. On to the Zenyatta for Shaz right now.
Yep.
Another great reason to play Zen, or to play Ana instead of Zen against that EMP is also you just have better survivability.
Yeah.
You're not going to get your shields removed and one-clipped by a Sombra. And now Paris Eternal moving around. I bet they wish they had that EMP now. That could have been a game changer.
Well, they've still got Benbest Earth Shatter. He's gotten a lot of those done. Reinhardt mind games in full swing. Benbest, ooh, he got kind of boofed. Earth Shatter not working out for either Reinhardt, really. Roar down, though. They did manage to get him a little bit up front. Finzi demeched here. Hip trying to support the push as Paris goes all the way back to spawn here. Shaz down, hit free firing into the Gladiators, and maybe they have an opportunity here. Finzi did go down. Paris, though, have the numbers advantage. They only need that one pick. Got to avoid that self-destruct. That's not a problem with it sitting up on the high ground. Grab kind of thrown away. Nobody getting caught by that one. They will take Roar out of the Hammond really quick.
And there's another grab here for Soon, Short 4 rather.
Oh, sound barrier now for Gladiators, though. They couldn't pair anything out of the grab, but the sound barrier might do it. And Gladiators, they are turning it around. Wow. Paris. I think Paris getting a little bit desperate here.
Void also had the self-destruct, which allowed him to get his mech back to stall out the point for the rest of the Gladiators to get there. That combined with Roar switching to the Wrecking Ball bought them just enough time to hold on.
Paris with one last attack. Remember, again, they only need one tick. They don't even need to take the point. But Gladiators have eaten up 4 minutes off the time bank. What a defense for these guys. If they can hold here, that'll be incredible. Kruise waiting for it. Fighting Lucio to Lucio up on the wall. It's like the Matrix in here. He's nearly got that sound barrier, though. Rally comes in. Kruise with the sound barrier. Can he get it off in time? There goes Roar. Oh, they got the Reinhardt. Paris with a chance here. Big opportunity for the Eternal. Now Gladiators outside looking in. Self-destruct comes in, just zoning the rest of LA away from the point. Void has to fly in, uses that self-destruct, inopportune time. Everybody lives, but now the grab comes in on the Gladiators side. Paris weathers the storm, though. Now they need the kills. They're halfway there to that one charge. Roar gets hit. He manages to respawn and charge him just in time. Soon very low, throws out the grab. Void low, there goes Big Goose. Maybe they got a chance, but Roar comes in with another Earth Shatter. Are you kidding me? They actually did it. It's a draw. Insane fight at the end, but Gladiators just managed to scrap it out.
If Roar doesn't hit with that charge, I think Paris win that clutch coming out of spawn.
Wow, what a series. Two very even teams. We're coming up with map 4 right after this.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
What a way to kick off our Saturday. Man, what a great series of Overwatch we've seen between Paris Eternal and LA Gladiators. About as tight as it can be. So tight, in fact, that the last map was just a draw. Nobody won that last one. It was a tie.
Yeah.
That means no map 5 out of this series. It all comes down to our next map to decide who wins this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I was a bit surprised. I think Eternal probably should have been able to take that, especially with how
they had 4 minutes for B to get 1 tick. Yeah, they should have taken that one.
They made some mistakes, which was uncharacteristic when it came to playing the 3-3, whereas when they mixed it up, having the Pharah in there, coming in with the Tracer, easy capture on A. And I hope we continue to see some of that sniper play on Dorado. Still should be quite viable on point A.
Yeah.
And I think the team that has something else to offer us is going to be winning this next map, something besides the standard 3-3.
I mean, when you're talking about adaptation and flexibility in compositions, I feel like naturally you'd want to go the Gladiators with that. But then again, I mean, on Anubis, we did see quite a change in composition from Paris too. So I think there's more to this team than meets the eye too.
I think sometimes you can tell that teams are a bit rusty on non-3-3 execution because Gladiators spent all last season playing that Orisa Junk Widow defense, and they should know better, Noah. They should know better.
They should be ashamed of themselves. They're grounded. Here we go. Gladiators on the attack here on Dorado. Looks like it's going to be 3-3 from both teams with that Reinhardt again. We'll see if Roar can put on a better performance here. Benbest really low. Ooh, Void. They got him. Hydration down too, though. Extending to get that kill on the Reinhardt. They get Nico, so good start for LA.
Yeah, still though, I mean, Shaz just fragging out from the back line now. Soon as that Reinhardt goes down, there's nothing to block those left and right clicks coming in from the Zenyatta.
That's the thing, man. I mean, if you unleash Zenyatta, he might be like a tranquil monk, but he can put out the damage.
Yeah,
3 kills for Shaz in the end of that one.
Yeah, losing hydration, they're not the biggest deal. You'll take that trade if you can get the enemy Reinhardt in this composition almost every time.
I mean, usually if you are having trouble with hydration in real life, you die too, but not the Gladiators. They can survive. They're like one of those like frogs that dries up in the summer and lives underground.
Gladiators don't mind the dehydration.
I guess so. Well, soon gets taken out by Void Self-Destruct. He caught Finzi with it too. Paris already on the back foot at the beginning of the second fight. A stun onto Roar, but I feel like he can handle the pressure. Maybe not. Paris Eternal turning this one around anyway. Despite the early losses from Void Self-Destruct, they kept it together, won the fight.
Yeah, it's so tricky with the amount of pressure that Paris is going to put on your tank line. And a part of that, too, we have to talk about is Kruise. He likes to go pretty deep into the enemy composition and start pushing the other team's tanks into his own.
Yeah.
So keep an eye here on Kruise. Definitely one of the most aggressive Lucio players. Also dies among the most Lucio players, but he also has some of the most final blows. So he gives it, he takes.
Hey, that's right. High risk, high reward. I like it. Doesn't bother me one bit. He's like the Zangief of Overwatch. I like that play style.
Truly, when I look at Kruise, I am instantly reminded of Zangief.
That's right. You just look at him, you think Final Atomic Buster for sure. Gladiators, a lot of ultimates coming into this next fight. Surefour's grab, foremost among them. A lot of grabs getting eaten in this series today, though. You know Finzi's watching out for that one.
There's definitely been a graviton buffet in this matchup.
Sure has.
And now players both being quite cautious. Rally comes in for the Gladiators.
Grab gets used by Paris. They're going to send in that self-destruct. Ooh, right on target, but no kills out of that one. Shaz forced into the Transcendence 2, though. Roar does get a nice charge on a Nico. And now the sound barrier. Ooh, Benbest with a big shatter, but they had the sound barrier. Hip gets the kill onto Roar anyway. It's another one of those back and forth fights between these two teams, and this time it's going to be Gladiators coming out on top.
And they'll be able to push it through A, no problem, after they mop up Finzi. And there you go. Gladiators victory, only coming out with a self-destruct, though, so throwing quite a bit at that last engagement. Paris Eternal can't survive, even though their support ultimates come down. Paris should have plenty of opportunity to take this high ground, though, and maintain that advantage. Nico doing a little bit of scouting right there. Does hate railings.
Everybody hates railings in Overwatch. Die, railings. Die.
They need to be able to get that angle for the Zarya. Instead, they might just drop straight down.
That's right. OSHA is coming. Look out. Next year. Well, it's going to be a self-destruct. Hydration. Well, manages to get Nico with the whip shot, and Void's going to follow up with one on the Benbest. They want to get this payload moving. They want to move it fast. Surefour turning around. Barely charged up enough to grab some kills. And Paris just kind of falling apart. Decided early on, I think, that they wanted to save the ultimates for the next one at the end of B, but It's looking pretty good for Gladiators so far in this attack.
Yeah, it is. I'm surprised Paris wanted to drop onto the payload so quickly right there when they could have engaged in a successful exchange of pokes because they have the high ground to hide behind. Instead, they cede the high ground over to the Gladiators, and Surefour is standing up there with the Graviton. Paris, they've got to win this fight.
Yeah, they do. You can't give a team that much time going into C on Dorado. Waiting for it now. Waiting out the rally from Paris. Kind of letting that extra armor fade away a little bit.
Well, it's going to be a while, though. I don't think they're going to wait out the whole rally here. We'll have to see what their decision is going to be. It's going to be some high ground poking. Okay, so they're maintaining the high ground, just setting the tank down to pressure the card. That'll force Void down in turn. You're going to get a little bit by bit here. And now that means Gladiators has come all the way down with Void low.
Oh, all right. A couple people knocked down by that Shatter. Hip there with the Transcendence. Going to be the sound barrier on the Gladiator side. They try to stay alive. Here comes the self-destruct. Benbest does get hydration with the charge, actually. Zenyatta can't save you from that one. Paris Eternal on the point. And now Kruise coming in from behind. Was looking for the boop onto Roar to maybe knock him into his team. Didn't quite find it, though. But crucially, Paris winning that fight and saving some ultimates as well.
Yeah, and when you see some of these engages, Zoa, that are just these poke wars across the chasm on the high ground, chipping out one tank can be hugely impactful because your Inspire is not active on your Brigida, so you really lack the healing to quickly heal up, and that means you can't contest the payload.
Yeah, Brigida needs to hit things to heal. Soon gets caught up in the grab. A lot of people are nice sound barrier. Void throws a self-destruct in there anyway. No kills out of that one. It's going to be Gladiators, though, coming on top in this fight. Just a little bit too much for Paris to handle. A lot of damage came in at once, and the best thing for Gladiators is that they were able to do that without, again, dedicating those ultimates to it.
Yeah, they had to drop the grab on that one, but they'll be feeling okay, especially if they can get some of these eliminations on the split spawn.
Wow, Benbest and Nico just walking a bit too far forward there.
I mean, that was their spawn. Like, what could you do, right?
Well, I guess that's true. Yeah, I didn't see they got split spawn there.
Yeah, getting split spawned, and so they can't actually deal with the pressure that the Gladiators put on, which means extra payload movement for the Gladiators.
True enough. Why did they build that door there in this building? Its only purpose is to slow things down.
I mean, I think
it's to load in there. I don't know. Roar drops the Shatter there. It's going to be a response from Benbest. Shaz knocked down. They save him, though. He doesn't die. Mimo avoiding back lines of Paris Eternal. A little bit in trouble here, trying to do the damage that he can. Soon, really, really low. Oh, they get Soon. The Zarya down on the Paris side, and that's going to be the key for Gladiators to push ahead. Hydration with a couple kills right there. Gladiators going to get some more distance. We talked about it already today, man. If the Zarya is the first person on your team to die, you only have a little over a 5% chance to win that team fight statistically, and Paris suffering there.
Yeah, it's hard to win team fights when your player dies first anyway. Even the best teams will only have about a 30% win rate, but
Zarya especially, though.
Yeah, Zarya, it dwindles precipitously in this meta.
Yeah, you lose the damage, you lose those shields, crucially. There's a lot of stuff that Zarya brings to a fight in Overwatch right now. Paris trying to weather the LA Gladiators storm right now as Gladiators trying to finish this one off. They wait for the defense matrix to be down. They throw in the grab. That's going to be the response to the self-destruct. Both Divas picking up one. Soon and Shaz going down. Now the sound barriers coming out for the teams. Benbest drops another Earth Shatter. Big Goose drop. Finally finished off by Benbest with that follow-up charge. Now Surefour in a lot of trouble, and Paris Eternal at the last moment are going to hold, and there are only 20 seconds remaining for the Gladiators.
Paris continues to impress me with how fast they can select and burn down targets. In chaotic situations, they always seem to be on the same page about who they're focusing so that they can come out on top of these engagements. And now 5 seconds left. Gladiators desperately trying to make it to the payload.
Now they got to rush to get there. Luckily, Big Goose already on. Gets some armor right in the end to stay alive. Benbest half health. They're going to try to rush him. They're going in with the Transcendence right now. We'll see if they can. Soon's grab gets eaten. That is big for the Gladiators. Void coming up huge again with that defense matrix. They get Benbest too. They lose Big Goose, but Gladiators might have enough. They just got to deal with the respawns, but there goes Nico, and they are so close to finishing off this third point. Paris on the payload again, though, and Void, ooh, he got caught by that self-destruct. Paris responding with a couple of kills. Here comes a grab now from Surefour. Kruise low. Oh, crucial sound barrier. He got it off just in time. Clutch sound barrier from Kruise. What a hero, but they still need to win the fight. They got a lot to contend with. Finzi demaxed.
I think that might just win the fight here for
I don't
Paris.
know.
So we'll see.
I don't know, man.
Coming back.
Grav comes in again for Soon. That one did not get eaten. Hip with a couple kills, and Gladiators responding, but it's Paris able to turn it around again. This fight has been so back and forth. Throwing out, gets the stick. Goodbye, Sure4. Void with the self-destruct. Oh, he fights two. What is this game right now? Paris, though, they still have the respawns. They still have the advantage. And at the end of the day, I think that's what's going to do it. Soon's got the Doomfist out, but it's all winding down here. Roar walking in on his own, but he can't get there. Paris will barely hold.
The double bubble onto Soon and Kruise, followed by that covered the animation for the sound barrier so he didn't die. If that hadn't gone off, that's a Gladiators win on that map.
Oh, I need to catch my breath. I'm sure you guys do too. See you in just a moment. There's Kruise. I would say the man of the hour, at least the man of that round at the end, getting off that crucial sound barrier.
That was so crazy.
Dude, I mean, you saw the Paris Eternal just like laughing after that fight. They're like, all right, we know we shouldn't have probably got that one, but they barely pulled it out. Let's watch that one again. So you're going to see him get caught up in the grab. Look at that, 95, 96.
7. Now watch, double bubble gives him enough time to get the sound barrier and then protect him during the animation. That was like razor's edge play there.
No kidding.
If the projected barrier hadn't been there from the Zarya, never would have even gotten through that animation.
You know, he's just
like
barrier. Spamming that Q button as fast as he can. Come on! Yeah, that was great. That was a great end of that round. Paris Eternal on the attack, and you know, because of where that one ended, now they don't even need to finish. They need to mostly finish, but they don't quite need to push it all the way to beat Gladiators and win this series. This match comes down to this round right now.
It certainly does, and Paris still feeling confident in the Reinhardt 3-3 mirror, as well they should, and Gladiators, they really want to play into this. I don't know if I necessarily agree with their game plan coming into this match, though.
It's brave. I mean, we haven't seen as high-level play from Aurora and the Reinhardt as Ben Best has shown us overall, but you never know. You could clutch it out. Soon trying to build up that energy, trying to build up that grab right now. They're going to get aggressive here. They've got Roar really low health. Can they finish him? Gladiators pull back. They do get the D-Mech onto Void. So even though they saved their Reinhardt, they still lost that Diva Mech, which is almost just as bad.
Oh, yeah, absolutely terrible for them. Now they can't stop any of the poke coming in from the Zarya right clicks.
Right.
And Paris has an option just to rush onto them. Roar.
Well, now he's low. Now you just jump on Roar. Yeah, there you go. Ben Best finishes him with the Fire Strike. Easy peasy there. Ooh, Hydration gets knocked down. It's a shatter coming in from the Reinhardt on Paris Eternal, and Hip getting a couple kills at the end. That's going to be the end of A.
Yeah, Void gets his mech back eventually and flies off to the high ground, beats a hasty retreat back to the rest of the Gladiators. As you say, fast point A this time around. Paris, they will be holding on to all of their ultimates except the Shatter, which was just used to clean up a tad bit faster.
Sure enough. On board with Ben Best for a moment there. Reinhardt of the hour for sure. Kruise, though.
Working his way up the courthouse walls.
Yeah, wants to get that boop.
He wants a boop. Hydration's there, though. He knows the Kruise tricks.
I mean, both these teams have watched footage of each other coming into this one. They both know that their Lucios like to get behind the tanks, get behind people, and knock them into the other team. Yeah. So, yeah, you're going to be ready if you're both teams, honestly, in that situation.
Hydration really picking up on the Kruise clues there.
Yeah, Kruise clues, right? So
my favorite children's show.
They're even blue. What do you know? Roar gets a little bit low. Going to be the Transcendence coming in. Self-destruct time across the board. It's an ultimate fiesta. No kills out of that one aside from Roar. Self-destruct. Not getting anything for either team there, but it's going to be Paris Eternal grinding through the Gladiators yet again. It's all clean up here with the tanks out of the way. Clean fight for Paris. And they're going to get so much time on point C. This is the opposite of what you want to see if you're Gladiators, in another split spawn coming in. Looks like they can't quite capitalize, though.
No, too many members of the Gladiators left alive. They had 4 players there. You're just not going to be able to push down somebody when you're only walking forward with 2 or 3 instead. They wisely back off.
Ben Best, a nice shield on Surefour, actually, saving himself from getting hit by that shatter. Oh, Roar canceled during the animation, tried to throw out his own shatter, but he got stunned by the Brigida. Great play from Paris. Nico pops a rally after making the big play, but guess what? Both Reinhardts are down, and there goes Nico. So Gladiators coming back strong in this defensive fight, and despite Surefour falling to Kruise, that's going to be Gladiators finally getting a little bit of stability on this payload.
Yeah, Paris had already used a bunch of their abilities, though, and they have 4.5 minutes. It's going to be so easy for them to slow bleed the Gladiators out.
Then again, I remember one map ago.
Anubis, yes,
where
they made some mistakes.
There was also 4 minutes left on the end of that one where Paris had a lot of time. So, we'll see. A precedent has been set, we'll say. Grab gets tossed in there by Surefour from downtown. Boyd throws in the Graviton Surge to boop attempt, but no kills out of that one. Now the grab for Paris. It's their turn. Can they get anything with the Diva ultimate? They do get Big Goose, rather. Nico down on the side of Paris, too, as the rest of Eternal pushes forward. Roar taken out once again, not able to be kept alive by his team. Gladiators responding. It's a rough day for Reinhardt. What can you say? Rough day for everybody, really.
I mean, this payload's going to keep moving, though, Doa. That's
the thing, yeah.
Is they're going to get some more distance on it regardless, because enough of the Gladiators died that they're going to have to fall back and try and play the corner right now, and they will. What a stun. What a stun from
shatter
Roar.
Comes out from Roar. He's like, I heard you were criticizing my Reinhardt play. Well,
allow me to shatter around this corner for you.
Let me shatter your illusions about my Reinhardt play.
Gladiators really needed that. I mean, this just gets them a little bit more time to stabilize. Now they can play choke points again.
Yeah. All right. Well, the Gladiators have certainly put themselves in a position to hold this for a long time again. Paris Eternal, flashbacks of Temple of Anubis. Got to be able to, oh no, soon. I think he probably got knocked off the map there, too. It's hard to say, but that's the place where it would happen if it's going to happen anywhere.
Oh, yeah, that was a little bit weird. Paris must have not been together.
Maybe we got to replay that one. Who knows?
When they were coming back on that approach.
Yeah.
Soon was having some struggles on their last attack.
True enough.
When push came to shove. And
rotating around now. Love watching the Lucio's bounce around the high ground. Sound barrier comes in. It was Ben Best with the shatter, but didn't pick anything up. Now they're going to be trapped in the grab. Here we go. Gladiators with some kills already. Transcendence used by Hip. I don't know if that's the fight you want to dedicate the Transcendence to. That's a bit of a rough decision, I think, as they were not going to win that fight either way.
Now Surefour and the rest of the Gladiators not giving them an inch as we take a look at this one. Just trying to see what exactly occurred.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, did look like it was...
Yep. Slowly sliding. You know, when you fall off right there, you kind of slowly slide down the rocks, too, so it took a moment. That happens.
Hydration there with the whip shot for the environmental kill.
Whip shot.
Whip shot.
Void. Self-destruct. No kills. Shatter was dropped by Roar as well there. They're going to respond. Surefour knocked down by that one. Finzi gets DMEC. Ben Best does get the kill onto Surefour, but without that Diva suit, going to be a little bit tougher to push, but they've got the big kills. Zarya down, so that's a fight that Paris knows they can win. Kruise, sound barrier, uses it to keep his tanks alive. Right back in onto Roar. There's the kill they need. There goes Hydration to the right click from Zarya, and now that payload's going to get some real distance.
Yes, it is. As soon as they clean up the mini Diva
eventually.
And very annoying Lucio hovering around the payload. But guess what, Doa? 3 minutes gone already. So Gladiators must be feeling pretty decent.
I mean,
that said, you're coming into grab, you're coming into self-destruct, you have no support ults except for that Transcendence online, which isn't going to cut out the immediate damage, the instant damage of the Diva Bomb.
They're close. They've got the ultimates to do this, too. Proper execution is all Paris needs to finish off this series and take the win. They're going to grab Finzi, tosses that self-destruct way high in the air. Oh, he gets two with it, Hydration and Roar. They couldn't quite get a beat on it, and that's Paris Eternal rolling towards a victory here. Easy block on that self-destruct from Void, easy DMEC. Big Goose back. They're going to have some respawns, but I feel like that's all Paris needed. That one play, that one self-destruct. And it's just going to be a slow roll through the rest of Gladiators for Paris to win this series. So close. The grab gets used.
And there's a Moira on the back of the cart.
Shaz was hiding behind the cart rather. Sound barrier. They're still in it. Big Goose staying alive. Void gets demeched again. I can't believe how long they're going to nearly force an OTT, but it's not enough. Paris Eternal finally getting the win in that series. But man, doesn't get too much more shields up than that. Gladiators with a great defense. In the end, though, Paris Eternal comes out on top. This is absolutely a team to watch this year.
I mean, you can't say much more. They beat London and they beat the Gladiators. They've shown that they can tussle with the very best that Overwatch League has to offer.
Yeah, I mean, the questions after the first match is like, yeah, they looked really good, but, you know, London not ending up to be the strongest opponent was we found out Gladiators was going to be their real test, and a test it was. Man, it was close. But Paris Eternal coming out on top in the end by the slimmest of margins, but you know what? A win is a win, and I think we've got a lot to look forward to from Paris.
And this meta, I don't think anybody should be trying to play them in a consistent 3-3. They're just too good.
I was going to say, yeah, it's going to be tough. We got a lot of games left in the league this year, but Paris is going to be a fun one to watch. Let's send it down to Mika, who's standing by with Kruise.
Thanks, guys. We got Kruise here. Give it up for Kruise and his amazing Lucio plays. So, you guys have been lauded kind of as the best 3-3 comp team so far. We've heard a lot about your GOATs play, but we've been seeing a lot of versatile play from you guys as well. Is this kind of proving that you're more than just 3-3, or are you just kind of becoming meta-proof at this point?
Sorry my voice is a bit gone from shouting so much, but no, I think we can play a lot. We're not just a 3-3 team. And I also don't want to take credit for being the best 3-3 team. I think a lot of teams are really, really good, and we're just one of them. So, yeah.
Also, speaking of 3-3 and speaking of your Lucio, you had a kind of game-saving sound barrier. Can you kind of walk us through that moment? And it was just so incredible. I know backstage we were all freaking out about it.
You mean on Dorado, like the last bit, right?
Yeah.
I was just screaming, I almost used a bad word there. I was just screaming, save me. I had sound barrier, I had ult soon, and then I think I got bubbled, and I used it as soon as I could, so, yeah.
So what you're saying is that's why your voice is gone right now?
Yeah. I was shouting a lot. Yeah, I was shouting a lot, so, yeah.
All right, last question. You're going up against Atlanta Reign next. They've been kind of scary. You know, people are really hyping them up here. Do you have any thoughts of how you're going to go into this? How are you guys going to prepare?
Just focus to Fran. He's so good. Just kill him.
All right, you heard it here first. Going to focus to Fran. It's going to be a great match. But for now, we're going to kick it back to the casters. Everybody make some noise.
There you go. Wow, how about that Paris Eternal? Already with the game plans for Atlanta, right? Just killed Fran. Honestly, I can't argue with that too much. That's not a bad strategy. But hey, you gave it away, Kruise. Now they know.
I don't think that's their actual game plan.
I don't think so either. That's probably not it. Let's take a look at our player of the match. It is going to be the one, the only, Finzi. That's right. Eating a lot of grabs. I would say playing very well. Got some of the crucial self-destruct kills at the end on Dorado for the go-ahead victory for Paris Eternal. Great day for the Diva.
I do think it's a little bit hard in this metagame to try and pick out individual players of the match because it is so